Welcome back. So, over the past few weeks or so, I've been trying out all the Tier 1 shotguns. And, my thoughts are less clear than last time. I was not really sure about these guns, and compared to last time, I spent a lot more time with them. Since I couldn't really get a grasp on them like the pistols, you know? And it's mostly because of one fucking weapon. The Blaster Super Shorty. Description: a basic shotgun that can deal significant amounts of damage at close range. Simple as shit, but my feelings were all over the place. Good ammo economy. If you get a consistent amount of shots in, then it can sustain yourself. The resupply can't really be relied on if you're using this past wave or 2 or 3. Was it a good Cade weapon? It's fine. Although I'd say it's not really good unless the zombies are right in front of the Cade. Although I feel like I'll be saying that for a lot of shotguns in this series. Good to use if you're getting pushed back in the first few waves and can output enough damage to sustain you in later waves. Was it a good push weapon? I guess. Stand right behind the main pushing force and you can act as some nice backup damage for the pusher. Although I wouldn't suggest being at the front of the crowd, as this doesn't do that much damage at close range. If you don't have a nice safe wall of people in front of you, then try to adopt a hit-and-run playstyle. Gets you less points, but will keep you safe. Reviewing this gun made me think about my criteria in this series. Should I include skills into the criteria? Trinkets? Other people's experiences? So I want to get across 3 things before I continue. 1, for most gun lines, as in a gun and its variants, most of the effort will be put into determining the usefulness of the base weapon. Then covering the variants will mainly be about comparing that variant and its base form, as well as some extra notes depending on if it has a gimmick that isn't just a stat change. I will not be covering trinkets or skills unless there's a specific one that's necessary for the weapon to be good. I feel like if I tried to find every skill and trinket that would help out the playstyle, I would go fucking mad, since I don't know if you know this, zombie survival is not really an experiment-friendly game. If you have a bad loadout, then at best you sit in the sigil not making points, and at worst, you die at wave 1 and have to wait an eternity to retry the next round. Needless to say, I don't want to spend a month experimenting, alright? Finally, 3. Yes, I'm going to bring in outside people's opinions on certain weapons when I can. Especially if the series blows up, in which case asking questions will be really easy. Alright? Alright. Let's continue. The, Blaster Slug Super Shorty. What? Why didn't you give it a different name? That's just inconsistent. Anyways. Description: single accurate slug round. Less total damage, faster firing rate, pierces once. I have a bias towards this thing. Straight up. The tighter aiming reticle, that minimal spread, that single slug round digging into my enemy's skull. This gun gives me a better sense of control and targeting individuals when firing at a horde of the undead, and so I always prefer it to the base blaster. I mean, sure, this weapon has overall worse damage, similar point potential, and difficulty dealing with larger crowds of enemies, but when you see me use this thing, you know I'm having fun bringing the Lord to these undead fucks. I sounded like such a hillbilly there. The Buster Super Shorty, variant of the Blaster. Description: 4-shot unfixed spread. Hitting enough targets can activate rapid burst fire mode. Shoots faster, uses 50% ammo with less total damage. Cannot headshot. Well, first I call bullshit on that last part because what the fuck do you call this? But secondly, yay, it's a Super Shorty. I can't really say the gimmick changes the playstyle all too much, but from my personal experience, here's a tip. Try to hit with that burst fire shot as much as you fucking can. Do that, and I believe your mileage with this gun will be a bit higher than the base shotty. Although that's kind of the point with this weapon, as gimmick variants are usually worse guns, but the ability makes up for it. Also, good ammo economy. If that blaster's running out, give this a try. The Blair Duct Zip Gun? What? Description: an unwieldy shotgun that has one shot. Gunk improves weapon performance rather than acting as a penalty. Applies oil flask to zombies while gunked. This effect seems so niche? Was gunk giving a dev such an issue that he had to make this gun specifically to counter the dreaded gunk meta? Ooh. Yeah, I find this effect extremely niche, just because I find gunk extremely niche, or at least non-threatening. If the effect had been made to counter something like poison, which gave me many migraines during this recording session, with an effect like when poisoned, every shot that hits leeches health off of enemies, would have been much better. And probably exists, although I'm too lazy to look it up. Anyways, does that mean the gun is useless? No, actually. Two things that saved this gun for me is ammo economy and hit and run tactics. Ammo economy, since it fires one shot before it needs a reload, which, while it seems like a downside, it's actually kind of useful since using hit and run tactics, you can run in, fire that pretty powerful shot, run a short distance back while quickly reloading, then repeat the process. This means you can get a pretty decent amount of points while having enough leftover ammo that you can just rely on your resupply. Sure, you'll get less points than the blaster, but you can save more ammo for that next shotgun you plan to buy. Although, this strategy only worked a couple of times in my tests, so try it out for yourself. Am I a genius, or am I crazy? You decide. The Cinder Rod Zip Gun, variant of the Blair Duct. Description: a Blair Duct retrofitted with an explosive canister. Loses gunk benefits, but gains bonus damage up close. Can build up a powerful self-damaging blast that will knock the user backwards and ignite zombies. Gasp! It loses its gunk benefits? Then what will we do against the tyrannical gunk meta? Oh no! Anyway, I actually kinda hate this gun. You know when I said I wouldn't cover how a gun does with skills and trinkets unless it's absolutely necessary? Well, here it's absolutely necessary. That blast causes quite a bit of damage, and unless you've got the blast proof skill or a reliable medic, you shouldn't use this gun whatsoever. And is the blast worth it? In my experience, no, and the Discord boys agree. You can't even do hit and run tactics anymore since the knockback on this thing disorients you too much. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but unless your loadout is built around minimizing self-damage, I'd say this is a pretty crap gun, all things considered. Still, try it, but don't expect the world from this gun, alright? He's trying his best, even if he's crippling your shoulder blades in order to do so. And that was the Tier 1 shotguns. Some of these are pretty disappointing, seeing as the shotgun is the premier weapon in zombie media, but what are you gonna do? I want to answer a few questions before I leave, though. Am I going to talk about new weapons and tiers I've already covered? Not for a while. One, because I want to wait a bit for the eventual balance of the gun. Guns rarely come out of the box nice and balanced. And two, because I feel it would slow this series down to a crawl. Kinda like Rada in his support report series. Love his videos, by the way. He and Soundsmith were a big inspiration for this series. Am I going to talk about stat changes of weapons I've already covered? Yes, at the end of videos, since those will be super easy to do. Unless they're a complete rework of the weapon with a new gimmick ability. Then it's a maybe. Depends on how big the change is and how many weapons I'm covering already. Am I covering every tier of weapon? Yes, point save makes this a non-issue. Am I ever going to cover zombies? Yes, it's only a matter of when, as I myself am not even sure. And lastly, am I going to become a bastard if this series blows up? Yes. Thank you for enjoying the video. Have a good day, I guess.